This happened the summer I was 17. I got hired as a junior counselor at this old school camp way out in the woods of northern Wisconsin. Real remote, no phone service, no internet, just cabins, trees, and a freezing lake. My job was to co-lead cabin 6 with another guy, Mark. We had 6 boys, all around 10 or 11 years old. There was this one kid, Caleb. He was different from the rest. He spent a lot of time drawing in this little notebook, always kind of off to the side. We didn't think much of it at first. The first few nights were normal, campfires, ghost stories, all that. But about 4 or 5 nights in, I woke up to this sound. Scratching. At first, I thought it was a raccoon outside the cabin, but then I saw Caleb sitting straight up in bed, just staring at the wall and whispering. I asked him what was going on, and he turned to me real slow and said, "He's back." I asked who, and he said, "The boy who lives under the cabin." Now, I thought maybe he was dreaming or making up a story, but the next night, same thing. Scratching, whispering. I got up and checked outside, looked under the cabin with a flashlight. Nothing, just dirt and cobwebs. A few nights later, it got worse. Mark and I were just starting to drift off when we heard humming. Not from inside the cabin, from underneath it. A slow, creepy lullaby. And it wasn't the wind. I looked at Mark and he looked back at me, and we both knew something wasn't right. That morning, we checked again. Nothing under there but dirt. No crawl space, no animals, and no way for someone to get under there. Then came the worst night. I woke up around 3 a.m. to find Caleb's bed empty. Gone. We searched the woods, the lake, everywhere. After hours of panic, we found him behind the cabin, standing perfectly still, covered in mud, just staring at the ground. When we asked what happened, he said, "He let me go." We called his parents and had him picked up early. The camp director didn't argue. Years later, I went back to visit the camp. Cabin 6 had been torn down. When I asked why, the director just said, "Too many incidents." That was it. Wouldn't say more. But I'll tell you this, every now and then, when I'm in a quiet room or lying in bed, I swear I hear scratching, and I think of that cabin and whatever the hell was underneath us. I went to this hardcore wilderness camp when I was 15, way out in the Adirondacks. No cabins, just tents, no running water. We even had to dig latrines. It was all about survival skills. Anyway, one of the counselors told us about this trail that used to be part of the camp until it got shut down. Apparently a flood washed out a bridge and they just stopped using it. It wasn't on the camp map anymore. Total off-limit zone. So obviously a few of us decided to check it out. There were 4 of us. We sneaked out during free time and found the old trailhead. It looked like no one had been there in decades. We started walking, and at first it was kind of fun, like an adventure. But about an hour in, the trail started splitting in weird directions, none of which were on our map. One path led to this swampy clearing, another went into thick, dark pine woods. Then we started hearing things, branches breaking, footsteps. At first we thought it was a counselor trying to scare us, but then Tyler, one of the guys, said he saw someone deep in the trees, a man in a brown jacket. We looked and there was nothing, and we heard it. A voice, a kid's voice. "Help, I'm lost." It sounded close, like just off the trail, but something about it didn't feel right. It was too calm, like robotic. Tyler said, "That's not a kid," and I don't know why, but we all believed him. We ran, full speed. We didn't stop till we saw the edge of camp. Later that night, we told Josh what happened, and he got real serious. Sat us down and said, "Look, that trail wasn't closed because of a flood." He told us a kid went missing out there years ago. They never found him. Since then, counselors had reported hearing crying or voices when they got too close to the old trail, so the camp just erased it from the map. I worked at a camp in Michigan one summer as a lifeguard. It was a pretty chill job. Easy lake, clear water, shallow near the dock. I sat on the lifeguard chair, twirling my whistle, watching them splash around. Nothing unusual. Until one day, this little girl, Mia, swam up to me and asked, "Is it true a girl drowned here?" I kind of froze. Because yeah, it had happened years ago, but the camp never told the kids about it. It was one of those stories we all knew but weren't allowed to talk about. I asked where she heard that, and she pointed across the lake to the reeds. "She told me," she said. "She lives in the water," said she had black hair and looked sad. Again, imaginary stuff. Except it kept happening. Different kids, same description. Then came the buddy check. Everyone was supposed to pair up and get counted. One girl was missing. Total panic. We cleared the water, searched everywhere. After hours of searching, we finally found her. She was hiding behind a canoe, soaking wet. She hadn't even gone in the lake, so how was she wet? She was crying, said the girl in the water told her not to swim, that something bad would happen if she did. That night, one of the old camp staffers pulled me aside and told me the truth. Years ago, a girl drowned during swim lessons, got her foot stuck under the dock. They tried to save her, but it was too late. Since then, every few summers, campers would say they saw a girl in the water. Same description, same warning.